Hey, it's David Weir here from the Glasgow PEPASS team, one of the PE lead officers for Glasgow. We've got another Q&A session for you. Hope you enjoyed the last one with Adam, Ash and Darcy Ray from the Glasgow Warriors. You sent in loads of great questions and they gave loads of great answers. If you haven't seen the chat yet, go to our PEPASS YouTube channel and check it out. This one is with Kieron Achara from the Glasgow Rocks. Kieron's a former Olympic and Commonwealth athlete. You sent in loads of great questions again and he's given loads of great answers. Thanks very much to Raymond Sparks at ProStar Management for helping to set this one up, and we've got loads more to come, so stay tuned. Here's what Kieron had to say when you sent in your questions.
Hi everybody, it's Kieron here. I just want to say thanks for sending in your questions. Here to answer them on behalf of PEPASS. Like I said, I hope everyone's staying strong during this crazy times. But we'll kick on with the questions, and I'll hopefully give you some inspirational answers. So first question, there's actually quite a few questions here from asking me who inspired me to play basketball and why, as well as how did I get into basketball. So I was inspired actually by a sixth year pupil. I was in fourth year at high school, Stirling High School, and one of the senior players and coaches, he came and asked me if I wanted to try out in the team. I used to love basketball at PE. I was really enjoying it at PE, but I knew nothing about club basketball at that point. So I tried it for the school team with a couple of friends who played other sports as well, and I just loved it. We won the Scottish Cup that year, and it was just a great experience. Other questions that came from St Francis of Assisi was, what is your favourite thing about competing, and are you excited to be able to play again after lockdown? My favourite thing about competing, it's quite hard to explain. It was more like I worked really hard training. Like I gave my absolute all training, and the competition was being able to see where I was at. So I guess it's like taking a quiz or a test. You know, you've studied. You now you want to know where your results are, where you're at, what level you're at. But for me, from competing, there was never an end to that. So when I competed, I always went back and analysed what could I have done better, how could I have improved, and what could I do next time. So it was always everyone always talks about the winning and losing, but for me the competition aspect was all about how can I be the best I can be. So that it was very hard to measure if it was winning or losing, because sometimes we could win games, but I never really played well. So there's a lot to learn. So the competition for me, I just had a great buzz of learning to actually be able to test to see where I was at. As for the lockdown, I'm excited to play again. I'm excited to do anything. I definitely miss sports. I definitely miss getting out on the basketball court and get some shots up and so forth. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I'm missing at this moment in time. But at the same time, I'm staying positive and working on what I can work on right now, and what I like to say, control the controllables. Question here about how often do I train and what kind of exercises do I do. So at the peak of my professional game, I would train twice a day, especially in the summer. So that would be a morning session followed by an evening session, and it would be a balance of both. So the morning session might be lifting weights or doing some yoga or some stretching or some cardio, some fitness, and usually my evening session that consisted of more basketball training. So I was really focused on a lot of jump shots by myself, getting a lot of shots up, a lot of reps, making sure I was getting my ball handling improved, and followed by like maybe a game with some players. So playing a team sport can be very difficult because you can't always have the players around. But there's one thing you can always focus on is the things like I mentioned, the shooting. You can always do that. You can always dribble, even if if there's no hoop. You can always work on your ball handling skills. So my night session was usually the basketball session. My morning sessions were usually either lifting weights, cardio, or stretching. There's a lot of questions. This is probably the most popular question I get asked is how tall I am. I am 6'10", and yeah, I'm very tall. And everyone always asks me how I got so tall. And I think I like to say it was eating my Brussels sprouts. I love Brussels sprouts growing up, but in reality, it's probably a lot to do with, again, my diet, being able, right sleep, and obviously my parents. From my mother's side, my papa was 6'4", so there was a little bit of height in the family. Couple of questions here about how high I can jump and why can I jump so high. The answer to that is I can't jump that high, to be honest. I'm just extremely tall with really long arms. There's a lot of people who can jump a lot higher than me, and we usually find that our smaller players usually jump a little bit higher because they need to. So I wish I could have jumped a little bit higher. A great question here: was Space Jam what made me want to be a basketball player? And no, it wasn't. I actually never really watched Space Jam till I was a little bit older. Great film though, and I'm looking forward to the next one when it comes out. The next question came from St Francis of Assisi Primary. It was a primary 7, and if you could play any other sport, what would it be and why? And I really can't give you an answer with that one. I just love all sports. I've played many sports throughout my days. Before basketball, I played football, played rugby, played lawn bowls. Believe it or not, really enjoyed that. When I started playing professional basketball on Wednesdays, I would still play badminton, play a little bit of golf. Now I'm really into running. So yeah, I just love sport. So it wouldn't be any particular sport. I get the same buzz out of competing from every sport I play. So yeah, I just love sport. That kind of tied into the next question: do you have any other hobbies? And the answer is yes. I have many hobbies. Like I'd mentioned previously, I'm really into running at the moment. I'm actually training for a marathon, hopefully in October if it still goes ahead. But yeah, I'm really enjoying that. I love to read. I always believe learning is key. So I believe that reading books about other athletes who went through their greatest experiences, successful business people, leadership books, especially anything about the growth mindset, I really enjoy. So I love to read, and just spending time with family. That's a great hobby and something that I took for granted because it was very difficult at times playing as a professional basketball player. I didn't always have a lot of family time, so really enjoying that now. Another question here from Todd Home Primary, I think it was P3, and it was, do any of your family like basketball? And yeah, the answer is yes. My older brother, he played basketball. My mother played a little bit in school as well, so there was a family tie there. They never really pushed me to play, or I never actually watched them play personally, but it was something that they enjoyed. And my immediate family now, my daughter, she enjoys coming to watch the Glasgow Rocks games, but it's probably more to be one of the Rockettes, one of the cheerleaders. And yeah, my wife just enjoyed watching me play. A very good question here too was, how difficult was it to progress to professional level, and especially in Scotland? And what advice would you give someone wanting to go down that path? That's actually a hard one to answer because it was never really my driving factor. For me, my purpose was to get a scholarship to America for my education. So I was really driven by that. And my focus then at that moment in time was just be the best I could possibly be. So I was very fortunate in the sense that I was working hard every single day to be the best I could be. I didn't know where I could have went with that. So my advice now would be, if you're looking to go down that path, first and foremost, you can't just get caught up on the end result. You really have to focus on now and what you can do to improve. So if you're talking about being a professional player, but right now you're not the fittest, strongest, fastest, best player on your team, or if you're playing for a club, then you've got a long way to go. And it's very hard to measure that too. So your focus should be on the learning aspects of things, getting better every single day, but positioning yourself. So the only way you can really position yourself like that is to be able to be playing club basketball or playing school basketball high level, and then hopefully onto the national team. And then from there, it's about getting in better environments. So the Glasgow Rocks are there. They're always looking for new talent. They have their trials and so forth every summer. So that's another way to kind of get into professional basketball. And that wraps up all the questions. Again, thanks very much for sending me through those questions. And I want to give a little bit of advice and just stay focused. A lot of people always try and get caught up on what they want to do, when they're older, and I want to achieve this, I want to achieve that. Focus on the now. Be the best you can possibly be. And remember that every day your focus should be just to be better than you were yesterday. If you can do that, you will have a lot of success. Thank you. Bye.